It's about carers having a voice in a specific committee.
A program put together by Carers WA in getting carers to sit on different committees within the Department of Health and at different hospitals.
You are there for all carers, and you think about the bigger picture when you are in a committee. It's never about I, it's always about we as carers. I was a carer most of my life and didn't realise it. My mum was in and out of hospital when I was young. My son had a trachea tube in his throat. He suffers from autism as well as mental health issues on anxiety and depression. He still has those problems today and he's 21 now. So I've had to fight a long fight for my son and his rights and his voice to be heard.
I originally became involved when I cared for my husband. He had Alzheimer's and he was in hospital, he died, and I was very, very angry at the treatment that he was receiving and nobody would listen to me.
I am a carer for my daughter with severe persistent mental illness. So I suppose I have the knowledge and understanding of people with severe mental illness who actually are living on the streets and have comorbid issues, which is drug and alcohol. So I have been a very long time carer of my daughter.
I became involved in the program through the journey of looking out for my brother, who has a learning disability and he's now almost 50. And through looking after him, I never really saw myself as a carer. I thought I was just his big sister doing what big sisters do. And I never really knew that I was a carer.
I like to pass on what I've gone through, what helped me, what I've learned over time. And I think that's the best thing that you can do for another carer.
I feel as if my job is to raise that carer point of view, to stick up for the carers.
I'm quite passionate about building bridges between disability service providers and carers with the health department.
Being a carer representative has changed my life. It's given me, it's an awakened a passion that I didn't know I had.
It makes me feel quite worthwhile to be able to support other carers.
When we have a win, it's wonderful.
I love going into a committee meeting and they'll start talking about a new form or a new procedure and they'll look straight at me and go, and carers, we've got them all taken care of, we've got this on the form or this is coming into this procedure and we'll check with the carer, and which is great. That's brilliant. They're listening.
I've been probably in a really unique position to be able to feed back the information from the WA NDIS My Way Psychosocial Disability.
It's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and I'm so glad that I had the courage to stand up and do it.
Having hospitals ask at admission, do you have a carer? And if you do, what's your carer's name? Now that sounds so simple. And I know from my own experience, the staff didn't want to do that. They thought it was going to make more work. And in actual fact, they changed their mind. They found that it made life a lot easier for them. The other question is, are you a carer? And do you need some assistance? All that takes is the staff calling the social worker. It's quite simple, but God, it means so much.
It makes me proud to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. There's a lot of people out there, and I was one of these people to start with, that didn't think I was important enough for these people to listen to, for the executives and the health services to listen to me. I didn't think my voice really had any meaning. So I'm proud of being able to give to support others in standing up to make the change and voicing their opinions and things, because we all have different needs.
I love it and I won't stop, yeah.
Got to have a great sense of humour. You have to have the courage and the willingness to speak up. If you're going to commit to something, you've got to commit fully to it.
You have to be a very positive and passionate person. And also be Very optimistic and have hope and have the, you're not going to give in attitude.
A lot of carers aren't as vocal, but that only comes with getting confidence in what you're doing and learning about it more and understanding how a committee works.
Communication. That's what we expect health providers to give us, is the one main thing we want is them to communicate with us. So we need to be a good communicator first and foremost.
Passion is the main thing to right wrongs, or at least get your voice out there to let them know it's wrong.
The meetings are incredible because there is the jargon, which we can't get away from, the medical jargon.
I have had a lot of instances where professional people don't listen, so you have to become assertive and stand up for the rights of people with mental illness and yourself as in my circumstance, a mum.
You really sound as if they're speaking a foreign language. You've got to say, I don't understand, what does that mean?
There's many obstacles in the way, but you just have to be strong and fight for the person's rights and your rights as a carer.
You get a lot of psychologists and clinicians that are from the old school and they don't like all the airy-fairy new age stuff. They think it's all, oh God, here we go again.
As I say, I did feel a bit intimidated at first, but I think once as time went on and I did speak up and have a voice, had the courage, and the other members realised that, but this lived experience carer does know what she's talking about, is probably an expert in her own right, that I think I was more accepted as time went along.
I've won around people that first of all didn't take me seriously at all. Now they do.
I would say to carer reps, not to feel too intimidated because we have our own special knowledge and experience, lived experience.
You have life experience. You don't need to have all these certificates from university or whatever these people have because they're reading from a textbook unless they've gone through it personally or someone very close to them. They've got no idea what a carer does and what it's like for a carer.
Without us building collaborative teams so they understand us and we understand them, the culture isn't going to change. So the more of us that can speak up and tell our different perspectives and stories, because everybody's needs are different, the better it'll be for everyone.
Don't ever give up on yourself or think that, you just don't know what they're talking about, because it takes persistence. It takes educating yourself. And underneath it all, people don't understand how much power they have.
Keep on persevering. Don't take knockbacks personally.
I often wonder what happens to those vulnerable people who don't have a loved one looking out after them. What happens to them? So if we can get the health services right for the most vulnerable in our communities, we get it right for everyone.
So, you do. It's a very powerful position being a carer's rep.
And just remember that the lived experience is very, very powerful.
We need people out there to represent carers.
Knowledge is very powerful when used constructively and is very influential when you speak. How's that?